I have in my hand the most valuable ancient coin in existence, the famous EID MAR aureus issued by Brutus to commemorate the assassination of Julius Caesar. This video will consider why this coin is worth millions, and why other ancient coins achieve such high prices.
Most ancient coins are surprisingly affordable. $1, for example, will buy a decent uncleaned Roman coin. $10 will get you a late Roman bronze in good condition. For less than $100, you can buy almost any common coin, including many Roman denarii. For $1,000, you can purchase a nice golden aureus. $10,000 will buy almost anything, even a rare sestertius in excellent condition. $100,000 will buy a masterpiece, like one of the famous decadrachms of Syracuse. And there are a few coins that sell for millions. These exceptional coins owe their value to a combination of factors, the most important of which is rarity.
The first factor driving value is rarity. This is a legionary denarius issued by Mark Antony in the year before the Actium campaign. Antony issued literally millions of these coins to pay his troops, and as a result, even one in exceptional condition, as this one is only worth, at most, a couple $1,000s. Not pocket change, but in the stratosphere of ancient coin collecting, nothing very special. Now compare this aureus with the same design. There are only 2 known examples of the coin I have in my hand, and this one will sell in a few weeks for quite possibly 6 figures. Rarity driving value.
Rarity alone, however, is no guarantee of value. The coin must also be desirable for its intrinsic qualities, most often its beauty. Thanks to spectacular artistry and perfect preservation, for example, the sestertius of Hadrian pictured here once held the record for the most valuable Roman coin ever auctioned.
Another factor driving a coin's value is its beauty. This is a tetradrachm of Naxos. It's not an exceptionally rare coin, but it is an incredibly beautiful one, with this very realistic classical portrait of Dionysus on the obverse. The reverse, with Silenus and a very impressively realistic musculature, is equally impressive. This coin will sell for 6 figures at the end of this month because its beauty has drawn generations of collectors. When beauty is combined with rarity, prices rise correspondingly. This is a tetradrachm of Agrigentum, or Acragas, an important Greek city in Sicily. Its coins are famous for their beauty, and for featuring, as in this case, on the obverse, the eagle of Zeus, often in splendid detail. This coin, however, almost uniquely, features on its reverse 3 marine creatures: a fish, a small shellfish, and a crab. The loving detail of these marine creatures is almost unique in Greek coinage, and ensures that this coin, which is again extremely rare, achieves astronomical prices when it comes to auction.
This is another coin from Acragas, a decadrachm now on display in the British Museum. In 2012, the twin of this beautiful and extremely rare coin sold for nearly $3 million. Before its sale, that coin had belonged to Nelson Bunker Hunt, an American billionaire who assembled a massive collection of Greek coins as an investment. Although the scale of Hunt's collection was unique, many of the world's wealthiest people include rare collectibles in their portfolios. It's not hard to see why. High-value coins and other collectibles are safe investments, virtually immune to both market volatility and inflation. One collectible asset in particular has long been recognized as one of the best and safest of all investments. That asset is art. In fact, thanks to steady, long-term appreciation, the prices of works by world-renowned artists have outperformed the S&P 500 by 164% for the past 26 years. Recognizing the trend, the world's wealthiest investors have long made art part of their portfolios. Few of us can afford a Picasso, but now, thanks to Masterworks, the sponsor of this video, anybody can buy shares of contemporary blue-chip art. Getting started with Masterworks takes only a few clicks. After creating an account, all you have to do is choose the artworks in which you'd like to invest. Once you've made your selections, you can either wait for your paintings to sell or pass your shares to another investor through Masterworks' secondary market. There's currently a waitlist to join Masterworks, but if you follow the link on screen, which you'll also find in the description, you can skip the waitlist and sign up today. Beyond aesthetics, the essence of an ancient coin's appeal is the simple fact of its antiquity. An ancient coin is a direct connection to the classical world, to all its grandeur and its squalor, to its famous figures, and to the countless unremembered lives outside the histories. The most famous example of historical significance driving value, in fact the most famous of all ancient coins, is the EID MAR denarius, issued by Brutus in the months before his defeat at Philippi. Brutus had, of course, led the conspirators who assassinated Julius Caesar, and he commemorated that event on the reverse of this coin. More on that in a moment. With over 100 examples still extant, the EID MAR denarius is not one of the rarest ancient coins. But it is one of the most expensive, since every collector wants one. Specimens in excellent condition sell for $500,000, and prices continue to rise. Alongside the EID MAR denarius, Brutus issued a gold coin, an aureus, with the same design, probably for distribution to high-ranking officers in his legions. Always rare, it is now known from only 3 examples. Let's take a look at one of them.
And now the moment you've all been waiting for, the EID MAR aureus. There are, as far as we know, 3 in existence. There's one in a museum in Germany, one sold 2 years ago for $4 million, and there's this one, which until recently was displayed in the British Museum. On the famous reverse, pictured here, we see 2 daggers and EID MAR, the Ides of March. In the middle is a freedman's cap, symbolizing liberty. Brutus, in other words, is commemorating the death of Caesar. On the obverse, the front, is Brutus himself. This was sort of a taboo until Caesar broke it, putting a living person on the front of a coin, but Brutus knew good publicity when he saw it, and here we are. Another famous feature of this coin is the hole punched in the top. This coin was worn at some point in its history, probably early in its history, by someone who treasured it, someone to keep it close to his heart, quite literally. And the thought is that it was probably a supporter of Brutus, perhaps one of the conspirators himself, who wore this coin perhaps for years after the defeat of Brutus and the rise of Caesar's great-nephew, Octavian, to the Emperor Augustus. The value of this coin derives from its rarity. There are, as I said, 3 examples, and from its sheer recognizability. Every person, whether they're a collector of coins or not, knows the Ides of March, and this coin's direct connection to that moment makes it unique and makes it extremely valuable.
The prices paid for rare coins at auction fluctuate with supply, demand, trends in the market, and the interests of individual buyers. But when this EID MAR aureus is sold, a few days after the release of this video, I have no doubt that the hammer price will be well over $1 million. Having never spent more than $50 on a coin myself, it's hard for me to imagine prices on that scale. But I think I understand the impulse behind them. For every collector of ancient coins, as I mentioned earlier, the ultimate fascination is the idea of possessing a direct connection to the ancient world, something you can touch, and through it, touch every hand that held it before. Every ancient coin has a story, and now, having had the privilege of holding the EID MAR aureus myself, and of sharing it with you, I feel that I've made Told Stone a footnote in that coin's long journey from antiquity. This video was made possible by the generous assistance of Numismatica Ars Classica, NAC, who allowed me to visit their London office and trusted me to handle these wonderful coins. NAC will auction the coins featured here at Zurich on May 30th and 31st. In case you want to check the prices realized, I've linked their website in the description. If you enjoyed this video, please consider supporting Told Stone on Patreon. You might also enjoy my book, Naked Statues, Fat Gladiators, and War Elephants. Thanks for watching.